Are we healthy or are we not healthy? Are we healthy? Are we healthy people? Are we a healthy person? Are we healthy? Hello, everyone. My name is Chris, and I'm with One Be Healthy Life. So today's topic is about, are we healthy? We're going to question ourselves. We're going to ask ourselves, and we're going to dig into why we feel we are not healthy or why we feel we are healthy. Basically, and this is just my opinion, I have a list that I have created based on what I feel constitutes a healthy person. What makes us healthy? Society has one version of what makes us healthy, and I have another. So I'm going to give you a list. I have this list that I created quite a long time ago. I have researched many parts of this list through the years over and over, and I've actually added to the list, and I'm going to give this list to you, and then that will help you determine how many boxes you check on the list, if you are healthy or not healthy. And this will be based on a generic comparison. Society feels that, and then this is what we see, is that, you're rich and you're tan and you're successful and, you're jet setting all over. Well, you must be healthy. You must be happy. And it basically, money has to pretty much have the say as whether or not you're healthy or not. And that is untrue. So you go to the gym every day and you have a kick-ass body, and you look at someone and you say they're healthy. There's a lot to them being healthy, and there's a lot to the rich being healthy, but if we're just talking about us average people, the average person, work a job, you're married, middle class, upper class, lower class, it doesn't matter. Are you healthy? So let's go through the list, because once we establish what applies to us on this list, we can move forward as to what is truly, a healthy life. So let's start. Number one on this list, first and foremost, is food and diet. Medication, drugs, and I'm talking street drugs, alcohol, vitamins, smoking, exercise, sleep, meditation, prayer, relationships, stress, social environments, social activities, illness, chronic conditions, and we can just name a couple of the chronic conditions, which is diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, lung disease, and high blood pressure, and of course depression. So this list applies whether it's referring to good health or poor health. It's the same list either way. If you go down this list and you've checked off most of the boxes that you are struggling with or have problems with, and maybe your food and your diet is not good and you're on medication, you may or may not participate in some street drugs, you drink alcohol, you don't take vitamins, you have smoked for 30 years and maybe you just quit, you don't exercise, or you do, your sleep is horrible, there's no meditation, or once in a while you throw in a prayer. You have stress, your social environment, your personal environment. You know, maybe one is toxic and one is good. Um, you don't have any illnesses, but, in your chronic conditions, we could say maybe you have high blood pressure. So I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help you pretty much step back and decide whether or not you're healthy. And if you are not healthy and you need help or you need to start somewhere, the purpose of this podcast, One Be Healthy Life, is you only have one life. And you might as well have it be happy, because that is our dream. At one time, the American dream was, to marry and to have children and to buy a home in the United States. And, the American dream has changed. It's been distorted. It's just been changed. The American dream now is whatever anybody feels it is. And I think the dream has changed because our world has changed, and it's not as important anymore. They stopped putting a prize on if you own a home, you've accomplished something. Where nowadays, to not own a home is the wise thing based on many factors. So it's not even a dream to own a home anymore. And so a healthy life, and to live a healthy life and to be healthy, that should be your prize. That should be your win-win. That should be your goal. And everything else is just secondary. So we have to talk here for a moment. Let's use this. This is hypothetical. So let's say you're a non-smoker, but you like to drink. You don't exercise. You keep a moderate diet. You don't take vitamins. You eat healthy sometimes, but not enough. You struggle with your weight. It fluctuates. It's up and down. You're still over maybe 10, 15, 20 pounds. Your job environment is great, but your home environment is a little toxic, maybe too much drama. And you have high blood pressure. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if that were you, that scenario I just gave, 10 being the happiest and your life overall, maybe in that would be a 6, maybe a 5.5. You get rid of some situations at home and make it less drama, and you get on a medication to get rid of your high blood pressure. You didn't really accomplish anything there. You exchanged one thing on the list for the other. Maybe you start taking vitamins and exercising a little and dropping about 5 pounds. You can get up to about a 7 maybe. I don't know. This is my scale. This is totally my scale. This is something that I created. And I think if you have too many things on the list that are not working or not supposed to even be something you're thinking about, then I don't know. I just want to go by what I created, as far as I think maybe a 6 would be that person, and there has to be some work there. So after hearing this, so are you a healthy person? Again, I'm not here to judge. It is important. We have to take an inventory constantly of our life as we know our life. And it's going to have problems. It's going to have up and downs. It's going to have situations that come our way. But to maintain a healthy life, every day should be a goal of yours. And it's very easy, in this is my opinion, it is very easy to do once you become happy and healthy in how you feel. And the happiness I'm talking about is health happiness. So I can't control the happiness of everything else. That's a different type of discussion. Today we're talking about your health. So if you are an unhealthy person, you 9 chances out of 10 will have some unhappiness, because following a healthy lifestyle takes work, and some can be lazy, some can push it off, some can feel they're not worth it. You know, you can be living a pretty decent life at a 6, and you've lived there for so long that it's your normal. And it's like, you know, fuck it. I'm healthy enough. And healthy enough is not good enough. It's going to only give you problems later on when you're 80 or 90. You know, my father lived till he was 90 years old, and my mom is 82. And they came from a different era, and they had participated in probably a lot of this list at one time or another in their life. And I don't want to be that person. I want to know about it now so that I can decide which direction I'm going to go later. So if I choose to be healthy now, it really is happy. It really is a happy life. And I don't want to struggle with migraines and being overweight and not being able to get up from the couch, or not being able to run around, or not feeling like doing this, or coughing a lot because I smoke, or drinking and then waking up with headaches and hangovers. And, you know, I don't want to participate in street drugs, and I don't want to overeat. It just, I don't want to. And I'm trying to share that with you so that you can say, okay, I'm not healthy. What do I need to do to make myself healthy so that I don't feel like I'm feeling? Because only you know how you feel, and you might share it with people once in a while, but at the end of the day, that's a personal thing. You know you're not healthy. You know you're not going to share every time you don't feel well, or you have a headache and you wonder why you get these headaches. And, you know, so let's make you healthy. If you're not healthy right now, let's make you healthy. And basically on that list, as an adult, there are a few things that you can change personally right off the bat just to even get it started. Now, of course, anytime anybody changes anything, there's going to be kickback on that, because, you know, if you stop sugar, you're going to spend the first week of your life detoxing off of sugar like a person would off of a drug addiction. It's literally the same thing. Maybe not to the extreme, but it is literally an addiction that your body is telling you, give me that back, and if not, I'm going to kick back with you. So it's going to be hard. The process is hard. And you need to find that strength and just say, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of me, and I want to be healthy. I am here to help. I have chosen to live a healthy lifestyle. I have chosen to be at a point where I am one be healthy life. I made that decision over 20 years ago, and I've never even thought of going back. Have I, fallen between, gained some weight? Yeah, I've gone through changes. I've aged. I never picked up smoking. I never picked up drugs. I never began medication. I didn't acquire any of the chronic illnesses. I didn't acquire anything that required me to take medication. I don't have high blood pressure. I'm not depressed because I feel good. I'm not worried about getting around. I take my vitamins. I sleep well. I meditate. I use prayer sometimes in my life. That's personal, but, my relationships and anything that's toxic, I tolerate them for a very small time, a very short time, and then they're gone. I refuse to live in a toxic environment. I refuse to work in a toxic environment. I choose my social activities so that I'm not injecting anything in my life that I don't agree with. You can't sway me to do something. You can't talk me into something. I don't need to be a part of somebody's group. I don't need to share somebody's addictions or participate in any of their activities that don't align with mine. I believe that your food and your diet make up exactly who you are. The food that you ingest creates a body, a strong body, that your mind no longer wants to be weakened by addictions and just anything that's going to take you outside of that. Because once you become a healthy person, you don't want to go back. You don't want to be anything other than healthy. And it's important. I just want to share something with you. So I've been following T.D. Jakes for over 20 years. He is a wonderful man. I respect him. I love him. And I want to share a sermon that he caught me with when I was in a time about 24 years ago. I was going through a divorce. I was very, very average, I guess. That I thought I was normal. I was overweight and going through a divorce, and I was not happy in my job. And of course, my environment was a little toxic, and I was so unhappy. I didn't like the area I was living in. I didn't actually like even the state I was living in. I didn't like music on the radio. I didn't like anything about me, my skin, my hair. I was lost, and I didn't know why. And if you looked at me from the outside looking in, you would say, okay, she's okay. What? She's got nothing to really complain about. She's just being a brat or selfish or whatnot. I mean, you could probably judge me in many ways doing that. But nevertheless, I was not cool. I was not happy. I ate when I wanted. I ate what I wanted, and I had no exercise program. I didn't have the education behind me that I wanted, and I was a good person. I just was stuck, and I was stuck because I felt like shit all the time. And I was listening to the TV one day, and T.D. Jakes came on, and he was talking about announcing and declaring to yourself, and just do it, and don't delay it. Don't fix yourself. Make a list and fix it. Just fix it. Stop complaining about it. Stop bitching about it. Stop telling your friends about it. Stop going to work and taking it with you. Stop showing it on your face. Just stop. Don't wait. Just stop. And it's got to start today. And he used this statement that he insisted that anybody that needed change was to use, is I'm in the middle of something. Now, he also stated that when you're going through something, it's private. Keep it to yourself. It's nobody's business, because they're going to poison you. They're going to interject. They're going to, ask you why. And then you got to find ways to explain yourself. And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody when you're transitioning. But I was done. I was fed up. And I just started from that moment seeing that. I decided, on changing my diet, changing my mindset. I was it. And everybody was looking at me over the days following that saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm in the middle of something. And that's what I declared every single time I felt struggle. I declared to myself that I'm changing. I'm in the middle of something. I'm going through something. And what it does is it gives you a step, a permission. It's permission that you forgive and excuse yourself from whatever situation you're in. Forgive me, but I'm getting up from the table. Forgive me, but I'm out of this relationship. Forgive me, but I'm moving on. Forgive me, but I can't do this job anymore. Forgive me, but I need to exercise, so I can't spend time with you out. I can't listen to you on the phone right now. It excuses you from the table, so to speak. And ever since that time, I mean, it totally changed my life. I mean, I went on, not a health kick, but I've been a vegan almost my whole life. I won't eat things with eyes, and that was since I was a child. Not a bad experience, it's something that I learned way back when I was very, very young, maybe 6 years old, and it just stuck with me. And not that I haven't dabbled in experimenting or tasting things, but it's gone against how I feel in my heart, and I would immediately just usually spit it out. But I have tasted things, but I eat a vegetarian diet, and I have been on many diets through my life, and I changed with junk and sugar and the way I took coffee and having extra snacks and comfort foods, and I was going through something, and that's what I declared to myself in my mind. I no longer wanted my job. I quit my job. I packed up a U-Haul. I sold my house, and my son and I moved 2,700 miles across the United States. That sermon changed my life, and I was in the middle of something, and it was the hardest but yet most rewarding thing that I personally ever achieved, was to just have the nerve, find the nerve, and to get the hell out of that situation. It was so unhealthy for me, and in every aspect. It was an unhealthy life that I was living. I was not healthy. And as I came west here, I evolved into this human that I wanted to be. I obtained my bachelor's degree, and I got my master's degree. I had wonderful jobs. I stayed an entrepreneur and had several companies through the years here. I still have companies. I have been an extremely healthy person. I am a bariatric patient that I had gotten surgery about 4.5 years ago, and that was a choice. I just, as a 61-year-old, I just couldn't, I was, in my mid-50s at the time, and I'm Italian. I love my pasta, and I stay away from bread, but I just couldn't get the weight off, and I wanted to lose about 30, 40 pounds, so I didn't spend my older years struggling with my weight, and I chose to have bariatric surgery. But that's, I was healthy going into it. I was just carrying more weight than I wanted to. I have never been a diabetic. I don't have heart disease. I don't have asthma. I do not have stress. I do not take any medication. I take one vitamin. It's a multivitamin. I don't even know why I take it. I juice throughout the week, and I follow a vegetarian, a pretty tight vegan diet because I don't do dairy. But I like honey, and that's a secretion, so I guess that kicks me out of the vegan, because if I said I was a vegan and somebody saw me using honey in my tea or something, then they would say, "You're not a vegan." So I'm a vegetarian, and I'm healthy, and I've been healthy for a long, long time. I made the choice over 24 years ago to cut things out of my diet that no longer suited me. Um, the additives that they put in foods today are addictive, and I don't want anything dominating me or making me addicted to anything. So I just choose to eat the way I eat, and I like the way I eat, and I'm not going to alter that for anybody. So I also keep quotes. I also exercise. I'm not a big guru with the exercising. I don't belong to a gym. I think I joined Planet Fitness last year for a couple months. It was fun, but I can do most of that stuff at home. I am strong. I do not struggle to get around. But I think what I want you to take away from this is in the last 20 years, let's just use that, because it took me probably about 2 years from the time that I declared that I was going to make every change that I wanted to, and I no longer was going to live with an ugly, unhealthy body. And what I mean by ugly is inside. I was not going to be part of the chronic condition world and um, just living like others were living. It was not happy. So I made that decision, and then for the last 20 years, things have come my way. Life has come my way, and I've been presented with situations and things, but I would not have survived them in the short time because they did not stay very long. And I don't need to mention anything. So other than maybe, I'll go through a divorce, and it was another divorce. My first divorce was 25 years ago. Not first, but it was my second divorce actually then. And so another divorce over the last 10 years allowed me to handle it. I got this. I don't need permission to fall backwards. I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, it's okay for you to cry, and it's okay for you to lose this, and it's okay for you to have setbacks. No, I don't need that. I'm strong and I'm healthy. If you are healthy in your body, your mind is going to be healthy, and you will be able to handle anything. You can handle divorce and death and disasters and losing a job and losing a vehicle and maybe falling down and breaking your hip, and you think things are going to snowball. When you are healthy and strong, your only word when you are presented with something, and I can make a long list of a million things that could bring negativity and problems into your life at that moment, but I got this, and I can handle it because I am strong. My body is strong, so that therefore my mind is strong. It's a no-brainer. I mean, there's a ton of analogies I can use to maybe give you that, picture in your mind. But I can't tell you how many people just look at me sometimes and shake their head and ask me, where does your energy come from? And are you on something? If I had a nickel for every time somebody questioned or, made a statement saying, are you on something? Like, because I can work all day, I can work long hours, I can come home, I can go outside and break up my yard, I can come inside and vacuum, I start making bread sometimes at 8 o'clock at night. I have all this energy. And once I hit the pillow, I'm out. 8 hours and then I wake up. My body works for me, not against me. I don't wake up with headaches. I used to suffer from migraines. I don't get migraines. I juice too much in between my week meals to not have that. I take supplements. Collagen is a huge supplement that I have implemented into my life. My skin, my nails, my hair, I don't have to worry about it. I put that supplement in my beverage once a day and I call it a day. I need vegetables. I eat vegetables. If you need them, eat them. I don't have to pull into a fast food. I eat before I go out or I eat when I get home. I don't have to be an indulged American that's so spoiled that they have to give in to these fast food places. These people pay millions of dollars in advertisement to entice you. They're doing their job. They're earning that salary. They get you in. They lure you in. You are weak. You're weak if you can eat stuff from these fast food restaurants. The garbage that is, it just makes me cringe, and I want no part of it. I have one study that I just read the other day from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. 60% of the U.S. adults have at least one chronic condition, and more than 40% have two or more chronic conditions. So there's chronic conditions, and I didn't even list them all because there's arthritis and asthma and cancer, diabetes, heart disease, But 60%, so 6 out of 10 people that you know. So 10 people, 6 of them have at least one chronic condition. I don't have any. And more than 40% have 2. I don't have any. Once you're diagnosed with a chronic condition, you put that responsibility on the doctor. I don't understand. The responsibility is on you. 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in my right arm. I kept telling her, no, it's carpal tunnel. I spent a lot of time on the computer. It is not arthritis. So she does blood tests on me, and she said, well, you have like borderline this and borderline that. And I'm like, oh, horse shit. I'm not even going to do that. So if I am going to say that, okay, I admit, because I'm not in denial, I just won't allow it to be named in my body. So if you're telling me I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it's in my right elbow, my arm, and sometimes it gets tired and it gets sore, and it's not at the degree where I can't move it. It's inflamed. It's inflamed because I'm using the shit out of it with my right arm being on the internet and working, using my computers and typing out stuff, whatever. So that's my responsibility. That's my body. That's not her. I told her no way on the medication. Thank you very much. I went home, studied everything I had to study. I went back a year later, and she said, well, your levels are better. And I said, you think? So I changed my food diet even more. So if foods were increasing my supposedly RA, or the inflammation in my body, then foods will take away that inflammation. And that's exactly what I did. That is precisely what I did. I learned everything and anything and anyone that paved the way before me on what foods were going to complement my situation, or what foods were going to, destroy my situation. So I made that decision. I took on the responsibility of my health. I did not take medication. And did I heal my body? I don't know. She said I'll live with that the rest of my life. Well, I don't live with it now. I don't have the problem in my arm that I had 4 years ago when I walked into her office, but I thanked her for at least diagnosing me. So because I had a strong body to begin with, because I have a strong diet, I have a healthy diet, and I have a grip on my health, I was able to attack this head on. And it didn't bother me. It didn't upset me. It didn't stress me. It didn't do anything. And anytime I'm triggered with it, I know exactly what to do. It's my problem. The same thing if, we get, as adults, we have breakouts. We have acne. Well, not acne, but we get breakouts. And, teenagers have acne. And, you run to the store and right away you want medications and you want this stuff. And yes, our body produces it. It's producing it because there's something missing. You're missing a vitamin or you're taking too much stuff. And, you want to Google all the things. There's the most amazing thing about our world today. It's so informational that you can self-educate yourself on any particular thing, right down to every single thing you can find, and you can find more than enough evidence that will give you what you need, the tools you need, the information you need to fix, adjust, repair, learn, whatever it is you need to do. So acne, there's a lot of foods that cause acne, so you need to get rid of those foods. And then juicing. And again, it's back to the health. It's back to your diet. It's back to your food and diet. And this is, drink watermelon juice. Juice a watermelon. A watermelon is $5. You can get probably, 6 containers of pure watermelon juice. Drink it 1 or 2 a day, and within a week, your skin will start to clear up. That is tangible evidence that juicing works. Because when you're drinking the juice, the fiber in it, you're not going to want to eat. You got to cut out the sugar, and I'm talking the candy bars. I mean, when you're going to the checkout aisle, there's 1,000 candy bars right there at the checkout aisle. And they love that. I mean, they, as in, who's they? You know who they are. So they love that. You don't see health bars there. You don't see protein bars there. You don't see bags of pretzels or, carrot sticks or, the cheese and crackers or something like that. No, you see, a 400-calorie candy bar with 560 grams of sodium and 500 grams of, 500 calories, however many calories are in a candy bar. Depends on which one you have, I guess. 80 calories, 70 calories, 40 calories. It doesn't matter. It's still junk. And so if you have a chronic condition, you have high blood pressure, there's foods that'll create a better body for you with that. Sleep. There's certain foods you can have, and after hours, you're going to cut out sugar. My suggestion, I tell people, they're like, I'm addicted to sugar. And it's like, okay, you have to detox from sugar. You're going to eventually not have a taste for sugar. I do not like sugar. I do not like sweet things. I used to, but that was over 20 years ago. I don't want sugar. I don't have a craving for sugar. I don't have a craving for alcohol. I don't have a craving for junk food. I don't have a craving for anything that is not going to benefit my body. So stop the sugar of any kind after 2 o'clock. And then after a couple days, you're going to hate it. And you might not sleep well the first couple days and say, this doesn't work. Yes, it does. And then after a couple days, stop having sugar after 12. And then a couple days, stop having sugar after 10. And after 2 weeks, you have slowly detoxed yourself off of sugar. If you want to go balls out, whatever you want to call it, and just stop, you're going to hate yourself and you're going to quit. And then when you do get back into it, you'll have sugar one day, and then, after a couple weeks of not having it, and it would be like, you're that addiction, your body's going to say, wow, that was so much fun. Please, let's do it again. And then you will, because now all of a sudden you've just reinvited it back into your body. So are we healthy? Because if we're not, there are a lot of things we can do. There is a lot of diets. There are a lot of food plans. There is food that gets delivered to your house. There is juicing. There is lifestyles of intermittent fasting. Um, there is all kinds of things out there. There are people that have already paved the way that are showing you, hey, look at me. And you look at it and you say, okay, which diet do I start? You're not starting a diet. You're starting a way of life. And I think, in my opinion, what I did was I just omitted everything that I knew was not in my goals, in my mission. You know, if you eat at McDonald's, just take McDonald's out of the mix. Don't even pick off the menu and say, well, I can't eat this at McDonald's or I can't eat that. Just don't eat it at all. Just take McDonald's off your list. Take Taco Bell off your list. Take Starbucks. If you analyzed a Starbucks, let me tell you, if that's an addiction, I don't know what is. That is absolutely a legal dealer. And you can make that stuff at home. And if you don't believe me, go on the internet. Go on YouTube and Google bariatric. As a bariatric patient, we can't have sugar. We cannot have sugar. And go on and Google their coffees. And they will show you how to make identical, mouth-watering, absolutely 100% sugar-free coffees. And you won't need, you could save that $6 every day, $10 every day. And at the end of the week, that's $50 a week. At the end of the month, that's $200. I don't know, at the end of the year, do the math. My point is you could use that for something else. You could do it, buy fruit, save up for a juicer. I don't know. And you don't need the buddy system. This isn't the buddy system. You're doing something. You're in the middle of something. And that's all you have to tell yourself is I'm in the middle of something. When you're cleaning your house and it's killing you, you're in the middle of something. When you're walking, every day do something. You have to do some kind of exercise. You're in the middle of something. And just keep that in your mind. You got the rest of your life. Fix it now, and it will take care of you for the rest of your life. It's like a car. That's an analogy I hate people using, but I hear it. But it's true. I mean, you don't change the oil. You drive around with bald tires. Your leather seats are all torn up, and you got trash all over the car, and the windshield's cracked. Take a trip with that car and see how far it gets you. It's the same thing with your body. How far do you think it's going to get you? It's going to break down on you. If you smoke, quit. You're not supposed to smoke. And then don't substitute it with one of these addicting, whatever those things are, those puffing things that everybody's always doing, those inhaler things or whatever. Go to bed early. Take walks. Do whatever seems like it's going to be fun. And if you want to get your family involved, get your family involved. But basically, just make change. And then after a while, it'll become your norm, and you won't have to explain yourself. I'm in the middle of something. Well, what are you doing? What's that lunch you're eating today, Joanne? And you'd be like, I'm eating. I'm just having my lunch. That's none of your business. I just want to help. There are so many ways people can help. Your eating plan is first. Your smaller sizes on your plate. Get a smaller plate. I do not have large plates in my house. When people come, I get them out of the buffet. But for the most part, I live here. I have these tiny plates, and that's what I live off of. And if you have to go back and get a second plate, then we need to talk more. Because you need to, ingest water before you eat. You need to get up after you're done with that plate and take a freaking walk. Go get the vacuum out. Do something and get out of that lazy phase that, we gain weight because we're not doing the right things and you know it. So don't blame it on stress. Don't blame it on your divorce. Don't blame it on your job. Don't blame it on the fact you just had kids. I see more women after they have a child look better than they did before the child because they just made that decision. So, but if you're in the middle of your life and your kids are teens and you're still looking that way, I suggest you question whether or not that's a healthy you. So learn about carbs and refined carbs and unprocessed carbs. Eat one piece of fruit a day, maybe. How do you take your coffee? You have to change that up and figure out by the time 8 o'clock and you get out the door, you've already taken in, consumed over 200 calories. And, you put yourself on a calorie diet, if anything. If you don't know what to do, count your calories. Because once you start counting calories, the rest just has to follow. Because if you limit yourself to 12, 15, 1,800 calories a day, you'd be surprised how much change you'll make. No soda, cut out soda, and just make it so that it's not part of your world anymore. Put soda in the same place as alcohol. If you don't drink, I don't drink alcohol. I mean, I'll have a glass of wine once in a while when I go out to dinner with friends, but I'll sip off it 2-3 times, and my meal comes, and I'm like, okay, here's my salad. I don't want the alcohol. I don't need to alter my mind. I like how I feel. I don't need to feel tipsy. I'm always in a good mood, so I don't need to drink to feel better. I'm already feeling better. I have a life high. Drink more water. If you don't like water, find a way to drink it where there's no calories in it. Also, remember there's also mindful eating. People laugh at that, but don't be on your phone. Turn the TV off. You're in the middle of something. So be in the middle of something. I remember one time I heard this, I was watching something, and this gentleman got up and from the table, and he was talking about how he takes 100 steps immediately after he eats. He does 100 steps. He just walks out his front door, and he does 100 steps, and he trails back. And that's what he does after each meal, and that just gets his body going. And I always think of that 100 steps. So I try to do that. I mean, sometimes clearing the table, or I run outside and I'll, feed the dogs after I eat. So maybe, I do the 100 steps then, but I'm always conscious of that 100 steps. And it's funny how things will stick in your mind. But I mean, the bottom line here is being healthy is easier than you think. I mean, there's just so many ways that the effort can be day by day by day. So I had gotten asked last night, I have Be Healthy Lifestyles on Facebook. We have a group, a capital B, Healthy Lifestyle. It's a group. We're on Facebook. We share our recipes, our beverages. I learn a lot. I share a lot. I love people's photos, little short videos. We're here to help. We're not here to hurt. We don't want to cut people down. We want to bring people up. And at the end of the day, girls got to be girls. We got to help each other. We have to. Doesn't matter where you are. I show my fat pictures. Other people show theirs, and I see their transformation, and I want them to stay like that. And maintenance can be harder than just the initial journey itself. A lot of people can get on that, have that bariatric surgery, drop that weight, but in 2 years, they went through a divorce or maybe lost somebody in their family, and it took them back, and they got lazy, and all of a sudden they start gaining the weight back. The maintenance is the hard part. That's why you got to stay in these groups. I've been in groups for over 20 years, all kinds. I love women's groups. I love them. They are powerful, and they're there for a purpose. They were started for a reason. So our Be Healthy Life, if you jump on and just see what we're about. But somebody asked me last night, I want to start being healthy. I want to start eating healthy. How can I? And that question starts me back from like the beginning of this conversation. Are you healthy? She's not healthy. I ask everybody that on the group. And, people will answer me, I'm not healthy. How can I start? And it looks so huge from where you're standing. So you're going to take a trip from one end of the country to the other. And if you're looking at that trip from standing say California, and you can visually, I'm just saying, look across the map and you say, oh my God, how am I going to get there? I'm walking this distance. So, and no, you're not. This is just an example. What would you do? How would you plan it? You got to plan it. You got to right away get out a notebook, get out a piece of paper and a pen, and start making a plan. If you were going to get married, you would make a plan. If you were going on vacation, you would make a plan. If you're going to do renovations in a house, you got to make a plan. It doesn't matter what you do in this life. A diet is a plan. A lifestyle is a plan. And so plan it. You have to plan it. You have to think, okay, today I'm going to omit all of this. I'm going to quit this, and I'm going to do that. Tomorrow, we're going to look at that same list, and I'm going to make a second list. Now I'm going to add what I like and don't like off that list, what I want to do with this. I told her, make a plan and come back to me with the plan, and if you want me to look at it, I will. But I want you to think about what you need to get rid of that is not helping you right now. What on that list do you need to fix? Because then we're going to fix the food and diet. And that's going to start happening with it. Because as you start taking things off and adding things, if you can do anything on this list, you have to fix the food and diet. You have to. Because everything else is going to fall into place after that. And again, I mean, you add a couple minor things every single day, eventually they're not going to be a thing anymore. So I want to thank everybody for listening today, because my goal today was to give you insight as to questioning whether or not you are healthy and how to start to get healthy. So the next episode of One Be Healthy Life, we're going to talk about creating healthy environments. I get asked a lot about that. How can I fix what's around me? I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. So if you're hearing this message and you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that I have been some inspiration to you to even get up and to figure out, okay, I want to move forward. Please leave me a review. BeHealthySupplements@gmail.com. I will link that below. But we are capital B, healthy. It's one word, supplements@gmail.com. Any questions or comments, I'm here to help, not hurt. So any ideas for any future podcasts that we can help others, I would love to hear your thoughts, maybe even get a guest appearance. I ask for your support on this podcast, One Be Healthy Life, and I ask you to share it, because maybe it's not for you, but you know somebody that it might be for. So I will see you next time on the next episode. My name is Chris with One Be Healthy Life, and thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.